Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're doing more of our Posthomerica illustrations. And we're moving on to another chapter here. So let's just get a quick background color. This is going to be chapter 14, which is the last one. So that's kind of a big milestone. And this chapter covers the Greeks leaving, like dividing up the spoils and attempting to leave Troy, but then they're punished by Athena and Poseidon for sort of like crimes against humanity, essentially, that they committed during the sacking of the city. So last episode we gathered reference. Now we're just gonna see if we can make some interesting stuff. Let's take a look at Poseidon here. I want Poseidon to sort of be standing just like straight up. Sort of like that, just unconcerned looking a little bit. Because that's what they always look like with this kind of artwork. Maybe not with his thing like a standing like that though. Maybe we'll have it maybe like either like that or like no, yeah, I guess this would make more sense if he's sort of holding it. Let's give a quick look to a few, what would you call this? Like, ships in extreme ocean weather. Oh, geez, these are really scary. Ships with giant waves. Oh, these are also really scary. I hate ocean-based disasters because there's like nothing you can do against it. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I'm seeing some really cool stylized pictures. Let's grab a couple of these. Good. Okay, so we'll lose Poseidon for a second. We want to, well, we'll leave him in there. We want to get, for one thing, at least one ship. And of course, they're going to be like toys compared to him, he's going to be giant in the frame. Here's Odysseus's ship with its eyeball motif on the front. And all the rowing stuff coming out of it. This is probably going to have to end up being smaller to fit, if we want to fit more than one thing. When you are in, I'm not sure about this. When you're in a storm, I'm pretty sure you would roll up the sails because you don't want to be, buffeted around by the winds any more than you are already. So I'm going to leave the sails rolled up. We'll do something like that, and there'll be little guys on there. This is based on an imagery of Odysseus's ship that's already existing. And then this is, I guess, the little thing that goes out into the water. We're not going to see that part. So I think I want to make this smaller because we want the waves to really show up pretty large in this scene. So we'll probably also make Poseidon smaller by a little bit. All right, so what's like a shape that we could do that kind of fits that, like that? Yeah, if the waves are going in both directions, then it really communicates how chaotic things are. What if we got some kind of So yes to this, but we have to make it even smaller if we're gonna communicate the idea that it is the ocean. Okay, hold on. Why does this keep screwing up my selection? I'm selecting this and then clicking this. There we go. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. This is why we do this rough underdrawing with stick figures, so that we can really work out the design. Okay, so let's just do a general thing of what the ocean waves are looking like before we do all the curly things, because I think the curly things is going to work. So we want a big wave to be kind of surging up here, and the ship is kind of riding it. And I think what we should be doing more is having the waves go both directions underneath the sort of ocean horizon line here. I would like to get more than one ship on here as well, and maybe one that's like destroyed, because we want to put Aias into the scene as in addition to Odysseus. So maybe maybe one of the ships is kind of sinking. Over here somewhere. All right, let's put this on its own layer. And then if we can fit him, I don't even know if we'll be able to communicate that he's in there, but like a little Aias standing there. Aias is the one who caused all this trouble for the Greeks, and it's kind of like the conclusion of this chapter that he will finally be killed by the combined efforts of Athena and Poseidon. So I think it's important to show that. Maybe we're definitely getting into major anachronism territory here, but I think we have some cool concepts. I think it would be cool if Athena was like standing on the wave, like as if it's a solid object, and controlling the lightning, because in this one she uses Zeus's weapons of lightning and thunder to help destroy the ships. So maybe it'll be that she has her spear as always, because that's kind of her signature weapon, and the spear is sort of has lightning coming out of it. So let's take a quick reference look for lightning. Boy T Baller saying, wanted to say I pop in and out of these art streams and love them. Thanks for letting me lurk on your creativity. Wow, I'm glad you like them. Let's get an exclamation mark hype on there. Thank you for joining the show, and thanks for showing the support. I appreciate you letting me know, and saying hi, even if it's just once. Totally respect the choice to lurk, but I appreciate you letting me know that you're doing so. Yeah, I'm glad you like them. This has been a really fun project, and I'm kind of sad that we're coming to the final chapter illustration here. But after these, I think we're going to go back and finalize all the other pictures, so there's still a little bit to do. Okay, so now let's do like major lightning storm, something like that, like a picture of, yeah, oh, cool, okay. Yeah. All right, we got some lightning pictures, that's no problem. We could probably get some kind of clouds in the sky as well. This is going to be a cool one. Whoa. Now we're going to be doing this in the black figure style, sort of like we did with the Aias pictures. Whoa. Oh, there's some really cool lightning and cloud pictures. But none of this really fits in the black figure look. Like there's not usually such expressive things happening. Usually they're sort of like standing there more sedately. But we're doing our own thing here. maybe we can get some kind of cloud representation. I don't know what we would draw for the clouds, really. Maybe it would also be... No, I don't think we're going to be able to get the clouds in there. But we can get the lightning in there. Maybe the top border can include a motif that looks like clouds. That would kind of solve the thing for us. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And obviously these would be white, so they would not look like as blended in as they do now. This pose might be a little too dynamic for Athena. Let's take a look at our references. We're struggling with the size of the frame pretty often here. I just keep wanting to make everything bigger. Maybe this is how Athena's standing, like more on one of these smaller waves. So Athena is standing there. I like the idea of the ships caught between a rock and a hard place, but in this instance, they are two literal gods that are trying to kill them. Yeah, this is kind of the style of the black figure technique. Not necessarily such a big head, but this sort of like cartoony looking thing. I don't really have any ideas for... Let's see if there's any references of like, I have to have searched this already. Greek art, Poseidon. I haven't searched it in other styles of Greek art, though. Yeah, nothing that's really, like, calling out to me. Maybe like this, I guess. Pull this in. Some kind of cloth around him, maybe a robe of some sort. We don't want it to look too much like Athena's robe, though. So it's got to look unique in some way. Let me try and see if I can find the full vase of this imagery. I can't really find it. Okay, Poseidon is in one of these pictures, but he's not looking that interesting. All right, we'll just come up with our own thing here. I don't like his trident being so close to the corner, too. I think it should be more... After doing an image that's like previously the one that's like a lot more representational, it's really hard to go back to this style where things are like intentionally not supposed to look realistic. No, it's not dramatic enough with his... I mean, Poseidon is not really the one who's, you know, doing the killing of all the Greeks, but we still want to get something in there. Maybe, and he'll probably exist like behind the waves so that you don't see his feet really. I suppose Athena will do the same thing. How would I make him... Maybe if his arm is kind of like this, like behind his... I'm not in love with the way that we have Poseidon right now. Maybe if he's holding the thing sort of like that in his other hand. Or it's like a two-handed hold like this. Move his head a little bit too. So he's gonna have that sort of like strange eye shape that they always have with the black style, but for now we're gonna make him look like this. And let's extend his trident, I guess. We'll make it larger too. So it almost looks like the ship crashed against Poseidon's leg, you know, and smashed into him. That's pretty cool. Okay. What else we got here? Now we kind of have to think through the coloration of these things here. If everything has a white outline, if the lightning is white, these would be the only black things in the frame. So the lightning being white wouldn't really show up that well. Unless the lightning was black, which would be a really interesting look, assuming we could actually communicate the fact that it's black. Let's do the waves real quick too. We'll do another version of that. I think this could be cool. We might end up just doing like more of a normal texture for the waves though, if it doesn't read in the main picture. Because right now it looks really chaotic, and I'm not sure if that might bode ill for our ultimate design. But either way, it'll be cool. Just the design for the way the waves are flowing is pretty cool. I think that is kind of cool looking. All right, so now we have all the underlayer done. This is basically the design. Aias is going to be here, sunken ship here, Odysseus' ship here, Athena, Poseidon, lightning. That's a pretty complicated frame, especially for black figure technique. Very anachronistic, this one, but I think it's a cool design. And it's the final chapter, so you gotta do something cool. Now we will put in, how do we want to do this? Let's make another layer that is a darker version of this. Or actually, we gotta grab that black from another one of our pictures. Whoa, whoa. So let's make a black layer. And we'll just darken this a lot because we're going to be drawing with white, not with black. So let's find one of our black figure pictures and take the white from that. Like the Aias picture. That's kind of like what I want Poseidon to look like, but obviously not the same because it's a different character. I wonder how thick I drew. Whoa. What's going on with all these linked layers? Yeah, I guess the line is essentially is 28, the number that I have now. I'm just drawing it thicker than normal. Yeah, at a certain point I tried to standardize the size of all the lines. Okay, so now we have this underdrawing. We can start making the actual picture. Let's flip our reference here. Welcome Blitz Katsy into the show. We are doing some illustrations for my upcoming book. Welcome in. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna do this. And this is still a non-final piece, but it's just gonna be a little bit more defined. We're gonna sort of solve a couple of logistical things about how things are drawn, sort of be able to see the composition a little better. Around halfway through doing all of these illustrations, I realized that it's not a two-step process, it's a three-step process that we should be doing. Where we don't just assume that right after the sketch, we're going straight into the image. Okay, so Maybe we'll put a little bit of bones into this thing. Actually, let's do it more of like a... Okay. Now there's a really cool bunch of rigging that sort of comes down from all of the sails. Right. So this would be the thing that steers, but it's like out of the water. Good. We'll put a couple of little guys in there, I guess. We gotta be careful about this because you really can't fit a lot when they're so small. We're trying to keep the brush the same size so that we don't do too many details that don't belong. So actually, the rowers would be sitting in the other direction. Like that. And maybe there's like a guy standing, maybe it's Odysseus, I don't know, standing like on a, maybe there's another pole here for some reason. And he is like looking and pointing over at the giant Poseidon. Maybe this has another crow's nest on it or something, I don't know. Or maybe it's like got its own sails. It's just a pole. Okay, so that's the ship. Now I guess we could do this ship because it's pretty simple. We're gonna twist our reference here. So I guess this would then be Aias's ship, which is already destroyed. And we'll just detail this a little further down in case we want to move it or something. Good. Okay, let's get Aias himself in there. So he's floating on a little plank. Then I guess the next thing to do would be the waves, which I'm the least confident about. Well, let's just do it. Maybe we'll do these really thick. I want to get varying sizes, but I don't know how close I want these things to get to each other. It'll be a give and take, I think. We're gonna do a few revisions of this probably. Okay. I think this is going to work, this design for the waves. And I like the idea of somewhere in here that the current is like going in two directions. The waves are chopping up against each other. This one doesn't look good. Yeah, it's better. So the idea that like here the wave is actually intersecting with another wave. That's cool. And we definitely don't need any of these sea monster references that we pulled before. I think the waves are good enough to communicate what we're trying to do. Plus, there's no sea monsters that are actually in this chapter. Let's maybe make it so that he's not touching any of the wave designs. That's really cool. I'm happy with that. I like how the alternating direction for the waves in this part indicates like the spray coming off, like the white caps or whatever. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Good. So that's the ocean. This is IS. The problem with drawing with white outlines is that you can't see what you're doing. Let's turn off the ocean for a second. We're going to put in Athena. And we should pull our Athena reference or Athena design from this picture. So let's just turn off Cassandra for a second. We'll flip her. And it's not going to look the same because we're doing a black figure technique this time instead of a red figure. But we'll at least be able to use elements of her costume. Same as we did when we adapted Philoctetes and Neoptolemus between the styles. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with what we have so far. A very strong, in my opinion, composition. Really cool waves thing happening. Love the shipwreck and this stuff, and I think this whole thing works really well. So I'm happy. Let's keep going with it, and we'll see what happens. Ladies and gents, that's gonna do it for this one. Let's name this finally. Leaving Troy. Good stuff. If you want to see more about this project and to find my other audiobooks that I've done already, you can type !Troy in the chat, or you can just check the front page of my channel with all the information about my audiobooks. If you like what you saw on the channel, don't forget to hit the follow button, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.